You're not going to. I don't care if you live in Target. You're not going there and coming back in under 15 minutes.
Dude,
Nobody does that.
I'm fast, bro. I'm fast.
So, you're going to get distracted by some autumnal throw pillow, and there's going to be no way that you're going to make it through. I mean, just look at your background. It's so ornately decorated for the season.
Well, I married a designer, so,
Is she a minimalist? You got to be happy after last night.
Pretty happy. I mean, certainly still some things I don't like, but it's a big win. Big win.
What is it? Well, let's talk about it. What don't you like?
The run game is very concerning. I did, last time I predicted that Mateer was going to have 6 designed runs. He ran, I think, 16 times.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean,
not
lot.
sustainable. Not
No, it's not.
sustainable. Uh, I know that Jade Knott is making a ton of money, and we can't find a way to make this guy as good a running back as he is concerning.
From a 30,000-foot view on both Oklahoma and Texas right now are a lot of similarities. Really stout defense, really fast. They play with their hair on fire. They know where they're supposed to be, and they get there quick. The defense is not to me a major concern. The offense is pretty problematic. I think look, you're playing some young players. It was nice to see Fasusi out there. It's
He
obviously
played he
a
played
player.
great.
He did. He's a very good player. It's a Texas, or it's a player. Obviously, Texas wanted. He's by all accounts from our recruiting department, really great kid, really great family. It's good to see him do well. But it's that interior, right? They're just not getting that push. They're not getting any discernible push from the offensive line when it comes to the running game, and it's a little bit disconcerting. I mean, these are just overall stats. Okay, so total rush yards for Oklahoma was 138. 74 of those came from Mateer. So that's a little bit dangerous. Now, again, let's compare that to Texas. Texas had 155 rushing yards. The majority of those came from C.J. Baxter with 64 yards. So again, this is not an apples to apples situation. Very different opponent, very different game plans. You're playing against a defensive coordinator in Wink Martindale that probably blitzes his way, in the buffet line at the Bellagio. I mean, the guy just goes for it. I had you guys not winning this game.
I
What I was
remember very
most
clearly you saying that.
I did, yeah, and I think what I was most impressed with, honestly, was I didn't think Mateer had the level of hero ball that he's got in him. And you guys are going to be in games because of hero ball. And I think that's great. It's super fun for a fan to watch. We've certainly been there. I mean, during the Herman era, we had our Sam Ellinger, who was, you know, God's gift to hero ball. I miss that kid, but at the same time, it's a tough row to hoe to do that for an entire season.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he took a hit last night that was you could tell he was coming off, and I was like, gosh, dang it, man! Like that is not something that we can happen nor sustain. I mean, I like Hawkins as a quarterback, but what Mateer brings is next level stuff. So we cannot run him that much. Whatever the number is that is reasonable, fine, and he makes us that much more dangerous. But I mean, I don't know, dude. There was a run that he had like late. Like we have this kid, this bruiser, Xavier Robinson. It's like he is a truck. You can't give him the ball on that situation. Like why are the backbone of our team is taking it there is very concerning. And I feel like it's the only thing they trusted. So that's the only thing that bothered me. I mean, I'm very, very, very happy with the game. Last year I didn't have a single game where I was up and cheering and screaming and happy and high-fiving my kids and stuff. But last night gave me that those nostalgic feelings of Oklahoma was a force and dangerous. So it felt great, but I still like, even I was texting my dad the whole time. He's like, "Boy, I wish I felt better about this win." And I'm like, "Dude, take the win. This is a very, very, very huge win at a huge point of the season for Venables and crew. This is good stuff. Now we obviously have to get a lot better, but it's a good day to be a Sooner, that's for sure. Come on."
Yeah, look, it's absolutely true. 24-13 the final score. I think the things that you should be very happy about are, very, like I said, very quick, effective defense. They made the day very, very hard for a wildly talented, however inexperienced quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who finished the day with 142 passing yards. Look, he was 9 for 24. They put him in situations that made things really, really difficult for him. The things I will say about Mateer that seem to be consistent. He is most dangerous whilst improvising. When you put him in a situation where the play breaks down, that is when he is really, really dangerous. He made a couple off schedule throws that were fantastic, and obviously his feet kept him in things. He's a big kid, so he can take those types of hits. But again, my concern would be sustainability on that. People are going to figure that out. I think, I don't think Michigan has the speed that you're going to see when we enter the SEC on defense. They're going to
Sure.
be able to keep up with that. But again, look, if you're a Sooner fan, I think you should feel really good about this. This was a fun game to watch. It was a back and forth game. It wasn't an absolute blowout. It kept you in it the entire time. So
Well, that was another thing that bothered me was we found so many ways from a discipline standpoint, from just an accountability standpoint of keeping them in this game. It really should have been like a beatdown. And I say a beatdown, but like 3 touchdowns is not out of the question here. I mean, our special teams play was dismal. The penalties, some of them were a little flimsy, but it just we did everything possible to make this a game, and it really shouldn't have been. I really shouldn't have been. I really thought that you know it could have been a real statement to the country, and maybe it still is, but not to the degree that it could have been.
Hi, guys. Sorry to interrupt, but if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, you need to contact Josh Holden. The Metroplex is massive, and the local real estate market is full of nuances and subtleties only an experienced agent like Josh can help you navigate. From Preston Hollow to Highland Park, Uptown to Old East Dallas, Josh will be there to guide you through the process of buying or selling your home. Now, Josh is a UT grad, a lifetime Texas Ex. He's reliable, savvy, and from a personal perspective, he's a really great guy to chat with. So why don't you give him a call and chat with him today about your real estate needs in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. His number is 972-917-8081. That's 972-917-8081. Or you can reach him at his website, which is joshholdenrealestate.com. All the contact details are in the description below. Thanks so much, and back to the show.
Well, I think what you're experiencing is what Texas has experienced in the not so distant past, which was, unsuccessful seasons. Venables is coming off of 2 losing seasons. So you still have that taste in your mouth. You still know that those types of things are possible. And I think that's certainly tempering it. But I also think that you're being uncharacteristically objective for an OU fan and understanding that the major problem here is the run, right? It is a major issue. And I say we because Texas is dealing with it too. And switching over to the Texas game, for the last, certainly 3 years, if not the entirety of Sarkisian's career, he has sought out a power running game. It's a staple of his offense. He wants to be able to control the ball late in the game. Last year, he achieved that by pure volume. He put young Quintravian Reisner, through the ringer, frankly, and he was a 1,000-yard rusher for the SEC. But man, did that guy get some carries. We are not getting the spring. We're not getting any breakthrough, certainly between the tackles on on our running backs. We had C.J. Baxter playing predominantly last night. He was our leading rusher with 64 yards. We got to see some Christian Clark coming off of an Achilles injury, which is frankly phenomenal if you really think about the fact that this kid's on the football field after breaking his Achilles or tearing his Achilles. It's just crazy. But to me, the best runner last night for us was Jarrett Gibson, and the problem is he just can't hold on to the ball.
Which is a crucial part of being running
I
back.
mean, so if you look at like where we're at, our best guy just doesn't. He just puts the ball on the ground. So this is a major challenge, and I think if you are a Texas fan looking at this objectively, I want you to, and I have not done this in its entirety, but go ahead and rewatch just even, I don't know, 10, 15 random snaps that the offense played, and you'll see that the defense really wasn't worried too much about us running between the tackles. It was not a concern of theirs. It was the same thing in the Ohio State game. They were just not really worried about us running. I think Arch did a good job in improvising when he needed to. I thought his pocket presence was fantastic. I really did. He didn't self-sack. He kept his eyes down the field. He made sure that he was in the play as long as he needed to be. Were there throws that I'm sure he would want back? I think he said as much. He really interestingly, when Wingo is on a crossing route, his mechanics just absolute go to dog mess. I don't know what it is. It's the craziest thing because he'll look all pro on one thing, and then a simple crossing route to a 5-star receiver, and he's grounding it. So that's something that may be happening between the years. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. I do think that what you and I are hoping for and what may happen, hopefully it happens, is this idea you hear it a lot about cohesion, and it's a big deal in the offensive line. I remember talking to a friend of mine last year before the OU season, and you guys had just got a whole bunch of transfers. You guys were really excited about your offensive line, a lot of talent on that line. And I just reminded him that is not a turnkey position. That is not a position that you just throw a person in. It's not like defensive tackle, right? Defensive tackle, you can come in pretty fresh from even a different team and a different scheme, and your job assignments are a lot more attainable, certainly at an early phase. There's a curve on the offensive line. Cohesion is a thing, and I think the amount of snaps that these guys get as things progress is going to be more and more valuable as the season goes on. But this was a very veteran group last year, and I'm speaking for Texas here, and we still were not a power running team like we needed to be. So, is that scheme? Is that philosophy? Is that coaching? I don't know. But it's been very clear that this is their desire, and they've not been able to achieve it the last few years. And I have to say that if you're a defense lining up against Texas, your job is to give Arch as many problems as you can between his ears. If you are reading InsideTexas.com, you will not be surprised that Parker Livingstone had an absolute baller of a game.
He's a dude, man.
He's a kid we've had our eye on for a very long time, and the only reason, frankly, that you're hearing about him now is, well, frankly, he was behind, first and second round picks. So it's hard to get on the field when that's the case.
Sure.
But it's he is arguably right now our number one, number two receiver, certainly number two.
Well, I think why I'm optimistic is, last night they had 4 completely different starters on the O-line than in game 1. So the O-line play was clearly better yesterday. So with more time with this new group, there's no way they're not going to get more effective. So I have high hopes. I like where they were at. You have to, in order to win in this conference, especially in order to win a national championship, a conference championship with all these goals that we have, you have to be dangerous in all aspects of an offense. Right now, Oklahoma simply is not. So, for all the Sooner fans, we can get there. I do believe in this talent. I believe in our running backs. I believe in our scheme. I believe in our buckle. We have, I think we've got everything ahead of us. We just need to perform on the field on game days.
a couple more things, and then I promise I'll be more positive. Is look, we Texas, we we were 2 for 12 on third downs. Yeah, yeah. Now we did do something which I thought was pretty impressive. We were able to gain 115 yards in penalties, which is impressive. When I say gain, I mean we gave the other team 115 yards worth of penalties, and that was over 12 penalties. That was a wildly undisciplined game. If you're looking at, if you want to know what Oklahoma did, it was five. They had 5 penalties for 48. I do think just some more real quick, overview shots. Having it seen a very small sample size of Mateer, a very small sample size of Arch, I think those guys are probably good for one interception a game.
Well, considering all we do is run the quarterback and pass the quarterback, yes, I believe there's.
Pretty high probability.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next week you guys are facing Temple. Texas has UTEP, and then SEC season starts. So I don't want to overlook these next two games, but these are both games where, again, I do think there's some opportunity for both Texas and Oklahoma to right the proverbial ship, as it were, going into SEC play.
To me, Temple is simply about reestablishing the run, hopefully figuring out some better run block scheme. I guess I don't know. I think Mateer will be able to do whatever he wants with them, but we have to find a way to get Jaden Ott to be a dangerous weapon on this team.
Well, right. Your first SEC game is going to be Auburn, the return of young Jackson Arnold. Texas is going to be playing Florida, who is going to be pretty hungry, frankly, after last night. So I think the SEC season is just around the corner. Again, we're not trying to overlook these next games because they are incredibly valuable, not only for the reps but also for the season. It's important to have these types of things. Do you have any closing remarks for the people before I cut you off?
Oh yeah,